Good morning, family, and welcome to Morning Heart Devotion with Dr. Chung-Shik Young, brought to you by our Heavenly Parent Holy Community. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 천진 참부모님께 경배. 바로. Now I'd like to ask Reverend Milhan Stevens to lead us in the family pledge.
가정맹세 1. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 자녀를 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀급 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
And to open us up in prayer this morning, I would like to invite up Keiko-san Foss to lead us in prayer. Keiko-san, please unmute and pray.
Hey, good morning. Please join me in prayer. 사랑하는 하늘 부모님, 천진 참부모님, 대단히 감사합니다. Good morning, Heavenly Parent, true parent of heaven and earth and all mankind. Thank you so much for Dr. Young to taking care as a continental director to reaching out each one of us as a parent and heart with a gentle father's love to really touch each person's heart every morning. We understand it's not easy things to do, prepare, a lot of preparation, and utmost Johnson and urgent prayer to ask God to speak through him what he wants to say, what he delivered to us this morning. We are so grateful to have such a genuine leader with not only talk, is act, is going through all the 50 states, visiting the holy ground to initiate the kingdom. The true Father buried the love of atomic bomb under the ground. Father said 4 years ago, Heavenly Parents, so grateful. All the brothers and sisters from every corner of the world, globally, joining this morning devotion. This is the most of our priority, first in the morning, to greet you, Heavenly Parents, and greet the true parents, and greet Dr. Yom, and wonderful MC, Rebecca. We are so grateful to have this lovely community, holy online community. We really follow True Mother and 100% unite with the True Mother. With vertical alignment, we want to lead the True Mother's mind. What is her dream and wish and vision for the future for this nation of Elder Sam? Thank you so much. I sincerely offer this prayer in the name of Jongado Keiko Force of the eternally blessed Central Family. Adieu, Amen.
Raju. Thank you for that beautiful prayer, Keiko-san. Now let's go into our breakouts and share our appreciation points with one another, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoyed your breakout sessions. I had a wonderful time in mine. So first, I would like to invite up Watanabe Hisako. Hisako-san, if you could unmute and share for us this morning your appreciation. Hisako-san?
Hi, good morning. Exactly 1 year ago, today, I started to join morning devotion. Very thank you so much for a whole year. I have so many experience, good. And then my life has changed. And then, very many great things happened too. But also, one thing that I want to really appreciate is, of course, Reverend Young, and then who preparing for them every morning for give us to speech to us. But also, I realized that the people behind prepared for the morning devotion. Especially, I realized that it's for people who are behind taking picture, historical true parents picture, and there's so many preparation for that. And then I don't know still, I don't know process, but it's very, I realized many times like picture over there through Reverend Young using, oh, that's the picture. I know I was there, or some kind of, experience I had. And also, and I realized at the same time that because somebody took two parents' picture of their early age, it still remains now that the Reverend Young can use. And then I remember almost 20 years ago when I visited Sege Ilbo in Korea, and then there is some building still maybe have, and then said one brother showed me inside of the building that it's all report from all over the world. Every small thing of a piece of paper about two parents was always kept there for years and years, and then very neatly they kept in that building. And I was so surprised. Well, even small piece of paper about two parents from all over the world still there. And then someone kept very neatly. And for the future, maybe in now also, we can, because of those brothers and sisters who is working behind so hard, faithfully, and dedicate themselves to keep and record. So those kind of people still there. I appreciate their brothers and sisters there. Then we are now easily to see two parents picture or two parents information, or even word. Also, it's true father's words is everywhere there. So I really appreciate people who is working behind now. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your sharing. It was beautiful to hear. And next, I would like to invite up Reverend Stephen Boyd to share next. If you can please unmute and share with us your appreciation.
Good morning. Today's my eldest daughter's birthday. She's 36 today, second generation. And I guess I'm just feeling so much love for her and appreciation. Since COVID era, through this medium and other mediums similar, and since I started working at UTS, about a year and a half ago, I've been able to encounter more second generation brothers and sisters who are so bright and capable and so loved by God and with so much great leadership potential. They're just, maybe it sounds kind of humanistic, but just wonderful people. And today, as I think about my daughter, who she is, and so proud of her. And I used to sorry. I used to go into her room at night when she was a little girl. And we have 3 children. They would sleep in the same room, 2 girls and a boy, and they're young. And every night after the day's work, the best I could remember to do so, I went into their room and I would pray over them. I did that because Father once told us that he would go into children's room and pray over them, and go into the brothers and sisters' room while they were sleeping at 3 a.m. and pray over them. So I did that for many, many nights. And my prayer was that my daughters could become princesses of God and Prince of Heaven. And so I guess what I'm feeling this morning is such amazing how incredible second generation is. And I don't think that as a first generation member trying to be a good son of heaven, trying to do my best, I just realized I'm so inadequate and never could really be like a true parent to our children. And so repentful today, but joyful, and so happy that in this recent time, at least myself, I've come to understand more about the heart of second generation on many levels. And I really, really want to be better for second generation and support them. And please, second generation, take the lead. And as first generation, give everything that we have, whatever that legacy is, how minimal it may be, to give to them. So that's my gratitude this morning. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, Reverend Stephen. That was absolutely beautiful and so touching. So thank you for that. So next, as you know, the World Summit has already started. So Dr. Young has actually prepared a recording for us this morning. So let us open up our hearts and our minds to really receive this message that he did for us. So please welcome up Dr. Young for Morning Heart Devotion.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and members for peace. 안녕하십니까? Yes, today is finally we are going to attend World Summit very soon. I am really excited to participate in this World Summit. Please, American brothers and sisters, North American brothers and sisters, pray for today's major event. Today, I'd like to talk about Europe from True Mother's Anthology, Book 1. So let's invite our Heavenly Honey to read.
Europe. We must reveal the truth. You must awaken European Christians who are unaware that the returning Messiah, who is to come amid the Christian cultural sphere, has emerged as the true parents, and that over 50 years, they have accomplished amazing things. As of today, a new cultural revolution will begin on this continent. I sincerely hope that you become proud Unification Church blessed families that fulfill their responsibilities and hasten the day that all people become one family that attends our Heavenly Parent and true parents. It took 2,000 years for Christian culture, which arose centered on Europe, to establish its foundation on the global level. As we reflect again on the past 50 years, how should the Unification Church civilization move in this era after the coming of heaven? Please remember that you must continue to grow roots that are big, thick, and deep until you breathe your last. I came with the heart that I will graft the Christian cultural sphere, which has endured the past 2,000 years, with a heart desperate to meet the returning Messiah as their last ray of hope to true parents' true love. What then should all of you do? You must reveal to all people of the world who are living in ignorance and clinging to the past that blessed families of the Unification Church are beacons and can bear the fruit of hope for the future. Please fulfill each of your tribal responsibilities and rapidly expand your environment to the tribe, ethnic group, nation, and world. I conclude my message by expressing the sincere hope that you will become blessed family members who can be remembered for eternity as those who invested themselves fully throughout their lives, and that you can all become proud, true ancestors.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. True Mother said, it took 2,000 years for Christian culture, which arose centered on Europe, to establish its foundation on the global level. The ultimate offer of Christian culture is to meet true parents. However, Christians do not know that true parents came and laid the foundation for more than 50 years. The mission of our Unification Church member is to graft true parents into the Christian culture that has endured for 2,000 years with a desperate desire to meet the second coming. True Mother emphasized that blessed family should become a fruit of hope in the future and a lamp of hope. Then, what can be done to graft the Christian culture with the true parents as soon as possible? It's for each of blessed family to fulfill their responsibilities as a tribal Messiah and expand the environment in the tribe, race, nation, and world as soon as possible. Living divine principle. And today is the second time I'd like to talk about again the life of circular and spherical movement.
Circular motion and union. As the subject and object partners begin a give and take action, the object partner revolves around the subject partner in a circular motion, and thus they become harmonious and unified. In the same manner, the subject partner becomes an object partner to God, revolving around God, and thus attaining oneness with Him. When the object partner becomes completely one with its subject partner, their union can stand before God as a new object partner, resembling His dual characteristics. In this union of subject and object partners, they are themselves composed of dual characteristics, and by the same principle of give and take action, they carry on their own circular motions. Thus, we see circular motions of give and take action within both the subject partner and object partner, which are simultaneously engaged in the greater circular motion within their union. Although there are moments when the two levels of circular motion among subject and object partners may happen to have orbits on the same plane, in general, because the angle of revolution around the subject partner is constantly changing, this circular movement becomes a spherical movement, and hence the union always exists in 3 dimensions. When the circular movement of the subject partner and the object partner on a single plane become a spherical movement in a 3-dimensional orbit, the dynamism and creativity of the universe unfolds. Variations in each orbit's distance, shape, state, direction, angle, force, and velocity are manifest as the beauty of creation in its infinite variety.
Yes, thank you. Circular movement and spherical movement. In a circular and spherical movement, who is at the center of this give and take action? You must give and take centering on the center, who is God. Only when it becomes a spherical movement where you give and take with God and can live a 3-dimensional life, a movement that revolves without God at its center remains only a circular movement. That's the issue. What is the circular movement and spherical movement, my brothers and sisters? Yesterday, we already learned that circular movement, horizontal give and take action between the subject partner and object partner on a single plane. However, spherical movement, 3-dimensional give and take action between the subject partner and object partner when they give and take on all 4 directions, beyond vertical and horizontal and circular movement. To develop from circular movement to spherical movement, God must be at the center of the motion. It is easy to stop at the circular movement. Therefore, in order to develop into a 3-dimensional spherical movement beyond the circular movement, you must artistically experience that God is the center of the universe, and that the relationship between God and human is the relationship of parents and children. To give and receive 3-dimensionally and through the spherical movement centered on God, there must be an exchange of heart with God. In addition, there must be artistic exchange in the relationship with humans as well. The reason we have not been able to feel God artistically and do the spherical movement until now is because we have only dealt with God in a formal and an ideological way. Just God is a conceptual God. That is the problem. We do not reach to the level of heart. When we reach to the level of heart, centering on 3-dimensional and movement, centering on God, then surely, we have become different standard. And then we can have experience what the meaning of a spiritual movement. And then when you are in a spiritual movement with God, and by inheriting God's true love, we become human beings who have fulfilled the purpose of creation. And then we become the 3-dimensional beings and dominate even the incorporeal world. You must open up the world of your heart, achieve mind-body unity, meet God, and advance to the stage of attaining mastery even over the incorporeal world. You will experience the heart of God and build an unforgettable parent and child relationship with God forever. In the end, human become the second creator and become the master of all things. Spherical movement of all beings. First, the center of the external form is internal nature. The center of the internal nature is God. In this way, the mind is the center of the body, and God is the center of the mind. The center of the creation is a human being, and the center of the human being is God. Consequently, the ultimate center of all spiritual movement in the universe is God. The word of all creation is in spiritual movement that is aligned with God. Therefore, God must be at the center of human beings as well. Therefore, unless we do spiritual movement centered on God, human beings can never become the substance of true love. That's why we need to understand that. What does the spiritual movement of all things? Who is the center of the spiritual movement of all things? It is God. So let's study Father's word based on this content.
The spiritual movement is the most ideal movement. Of the things that revolve, what revolves with the best style? A complete sphere has the most complete orbit when it revolves. A sphere that revolves centering on a complete 90-degree angle is the most ideal in the entire universe. From the center of a sphere, everything is at the same distance at a 90-degree angle. Everything is filled up. If you slice this at a 90-degree angle, there is nothing that does not fit. Even if you cut it at a 90-degree angle and arrange it in all 360 degrees, it will all fall into place. Do you understand what I am saying?
Yes, very important. The distance from the center of the 90 degrees is the most direct road. The angle of the true love is at 90 degrees. Therefore, the angle of true love is the most direct road that can be connected with God and all beings. As you're standing at the 90 degrees vertically to God or not, my brothers and sisters, or 30 degrees, or 50 degrees, how aligned are you with God? Let's just say, if you're just standing at the degree of the 45 degree, to reach to 90 degree, you need to work harder, right? If your vertical alignment just only 30 degree, why? You cannot feel God, but more need to be closer and closer and closer, from 40 degree to 50 degree, 50 degree to 70 degree, 70 degree to 80 degree, 80 degree to 90 degree, the right 90 degrees angle, and that is the moment God directly can intervene you. So when we stand at the 90 degree vertically to God, we live a life of a high noon settlement where no shadow is cast. Always Father talking about. And I am in a position where God dominates, intervene me directly. In this way, when God and I stand in a vertical position, there should be a spiritual movement beyond the circular movement. The reason we have not yet met and felt God is because our alignment with God is not at the 90 degree angle. My brothers and sisters. So, that's why we really, upright our position all the time. We need to check, I am really 90 degree or not. If my alignment is very clear, and then become centering on 90 degree angle, surely, without exception, you can see God, you can see universe, you can read the people's mind, you can reach everything. Wow. How can we stand that kind of the position at the 90 degree angle? That is really our challenging, my brothers and sisters. Today's youth ministry, the primary characteristics of the fallen nature. This is a series 2. So let's study about that. Please read.
The primary characteristics of the fallen nature. In the principle, fallen nature is divided into 4 primary characteristics. Yesterday, we studied the first and second of the fallen nature. The third is reversing dominion, and the fourth is multiplying the criminal act. Reversing dominion is a change in the order of subject and object. In order to overcome reversing dominion, you have to cherish the relationship of Lord and object partner as your own life. You cannot be conceited. You cannot run ahead of Abel. You have to live a life of faith going through Abel. You have to impress Abel. In order to reverse dominion, you have to have results that you impressed Abel. You have to be recognized by Abel.
Yes, my brothers and sisters. We are talking about the reversing dominion. So in order to correct the position, who is the subject, who is the object, subject partner and object partner, who is my Abel, in order to restore the reversing dominion, you need to understand very important point, not just only principle way or what, You have to live a life of faith going through Abel. You have to impress Abel. Means you really need to touch Abel's heart, not just only straightly go to the heaven. How can I move Abel's heart? How can I touch Abel's heart? Then Abel talked to the king, let you go. Naturally allow Cain to connect to heavenly parents. That's why, in order to overcome the reversing dominion as a Cain's figure, you need to understand that how can I move my Abel's heart? We need to treat everyone, they are my Abel figures. Does not matter your old age or younger age, or you are really your position of children or position of a spouse. I need to treat everybody. They are my Abel. I'm the Cain's figure. As the Cain's figure, to overcome reversing dominion, only one way, not just only serving them very well. That is not enough. What's the best way? I need to move their heart. I need to move my Abel's heart. And the move means I already win over my Abel's heart, right? That through the moving and touching, that's the way, how to say, natural surrender. Through moving heart, touching heart. Only, my Abel's figure or my Cain's figure completely surrender. That's why our job is what? How can I move Cain's heart? How can I move Abel's heart? How can I move God's heart? Wow. Why God confessed to Abraham, from now on, I belong to Abraham. I'm the God of Abraham. Means really Abraham touched God's heart. You win over me. That's why God confessed that I'm the God of Abraham. I'm the God of Isaac. I'm the God of Jacob. Yeah, this is the real point. Okay, next content.
This primary characteristic of the fallen nature, reversing dominion, causes a state of uncontrolled anger. The uncontrollable anger lurks in the background of the breakdown of a lot of families by divorce. A husband gets angry at his wife and vice versa. That is the way to cause the collapse of the family. When parents get angry at their children, they run away from home and can become antisocial delinquents. That is why people leave from those who get angry a lot. For that reason, the most vulnerable to the uncontrollable anger are themselves. You have to remove the fallen nature of the uncontrollable anger completely and have the mindset that you always obediently submit to the providence of heaven and you're able. Since we know the 4 types of fallen nature, if we live keeping the original nature of creation, we will always be peaceful. A person who always goes out after setting up a mediator is always humble. A person who keeps their own subjectivity is a righteous person. Next, one who is not stubborn, but is unchanging and loyal, centering on their center, is a righteous person. In general, we can see that examining ourselves well is important. We should live scaling ourselves. We should really be able to distinguish whether my heart is of original nature or fallen nature. To know what kind of person I am, you can tell by your feelings. When I meet people, how much joy wells up. When I see someone above me, do I have a heart that really wants to serve them? When I see someone below me, do I really have a heart that wants to cooperate with them? In our lives, gratitude should well up and joy should be overflowing. On the other hand, if there is feeling of decrease and sorrow in my heart and easily feel lonely, this is where sin begins. It is letting evil forces enter. Then dissatisfaction and complaints change the position of the center. People who always stand in the position of heaven have a heart of gratitude. Then it will feel like Father is always by their side. They will pray about God's wishes, and the heart will always be reassured and peaceful. One who sets a mediator will always develop. In the family life, there are many cases between siblings where the younger brother who receives love from the parents ends up ignoring his older brother. The younger brother who has his parents' love all to himself ignores the older sibling and tries to form a direct relationship with their mother. Then the older brother tries to stop his younger brother and ends up disliking him. However, if the younger brother receives love by going through his older brother, it is peaceful. People who do not know the principle do not know anything about the mediator or order. At times, parents easily raise children narrow-minded. You should know order and deal with people. When the order is crooked, people become disappointed. When you cannot stay in your position and keep order, sometimes you have fallen nature, and sometimes you have original nature. Your path of faith will become rugged and twisted. What a snake symbolizes is going back and forth from fallen nature to original nature, and from original nature to fallen nature. When receiving love, original nature comes out, but when treated badly, fallen nature comes out. This kind of faith is what we call twisted and snake-like faith. Therefore, I must measure myself well to tell whether I am someone who lives with original nature or someone who lives with characteristics of fallen nature. We must each measure our feelings well. We must measure well the feeling of waking up from sleep, the feeling while eating, the feeling while studying, and the feeling during class.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. You know, what kind of the person lives by fallen nature? I want to summarize from the yesterday. I talk about the fallen nature and original nature. So let me summarize all the content. What kind of a person lives by fallen nature? They are always centered on oneself. They do everything in their own way. Is it almost impossible to think of God's position or the parent's position? They do not think what is the filial piety. So filial son and daughters are always thinking centering on God's point of view, which is a parent's point of view. But for the nature, it is impossible to think about that. They treat people formally, cannot become more deeper. There's no joy or longing for people. That's why, you carry on for the nature or not. Normally you do not know. But when you see people, immediately you can check yourself. When you see the people, you have really happy heart, welcoming heart, and really so joyful. Do you have a really longing for people? You don't have. That means you are very external, very formal. Nothing comes out from your heart. That's why you are the one who carry on for the nature all the time. Since they always put themselves first, there is no mediator. Any case figure, anyone carry on for the nature, there is no mediator. Because he is the one who subject all the time. Any decision made by himself. No need to able. Why my life need to discuss with somebody? My life is my life. I can make decision by myself. They always try to take control of the other person, and it's a strong their assertion. They think about using the other person first. They have no alignment with the central figure, and they treat the central figure horizontally. This is the problem. Already I mentioned that, alignment centering on God, that is lifeline. Lifeline. There's no God, no alignment with God, no alignment with true parents, no alignment with true mother. I am telling you, start to have very, very confusion, chaos. So don't know the reason. Really, you are unhappy. Somehow you are trying to follow some direction or some spiritual guru, another guru, and deny true mother. And then in your deeper heart, you need to reflect on that. Your heart is not so peaceful at all. The more you deny true mother, the more you feel like uneasy feeling. Really, really struggling. But even though you do not express, but actually your original mind tell you, if you do not deny God and deny true parents, therefore, my brothers and sisters, your alignment is very important. Those who are carry on fallen nature, no alignment, very horizontal, very much humanistic, very much egoism. That is the fallen nature. They are always, vigorous, easily become jealous and feel a sense of a loss in love. They always blame others when things go wrong. Never responsible for somebody. Always something wrong. This is your problem. This is my Cain's problem. This is my Abel's problem. This is your problem. That's why I start to argue each other. They are always dominated by the environment and are drawn to the physical desires. Very easy to dominated by environment. When see the woman already, you cannot control your emotion. You cannot control your sexual desires. Always possessed by, that kind of the chapter 2 desires. Not easy to get away from there. Always living, centering on physical emotion, physical desires, not controlled by your spiritual desires. They can't stick with their determination and are very fickle. Cannot trust because always changeable, like weather. How can trust that kind of a guy? They always complain a lot and see the shortcomings of others and cannot forgive their enemies. Those who are carry on fallen nature because they are self-centered, their heart is so so narrow-minded. Those who cannot forgive their enemy or others, when someone make the mistake, why cannot forgive? Because their mind is so narrow-minded. And always thinking, centering on their emotion and feeling. That's why you need to check. Someone cannot forgive. Their heart is so narrow, very, very narrow. Within that kind of narrow heart, how can our Heavenly Father survive within such a narrow heart and mind? Cannot. Why everybody go to Jesus? Because Jesus embrace, forgive his enemy. The content of his heart is so big and wide, can embrace the universe, can embrace anyone, including enemies. How about your container of your heart? What kind of person lives by original nature? They always overflow with gratitude, no matter what. That's why the Bible said, gratitude is one of the kachugo. No matter what happens, always grateful, so thankful, with the tears, always. But fallen nature never have that kind of feeling of the gratitude. They always feel nice and happy to meet people. They always want to help whenever they meet a person below them. When you see Abel, I really want to attend. I want to serve them. I want to live in together. And whenever you see someone, always show the big smile with a really happy heart. Then you are living centering on original nature. You can feel that Heavenly Father always by their side. They always pray for heaven's wishes. Always try to connect to God, connect to true parents. Your alignment always looking for, where is my central figures? They feel at ease and peaceful because they always serve able. As long as you serve your able, your heart always peaceful and thankful. They always develop because they always go through the mediator. Anyone go through the able. Looks like, it looks, it takes more time, but more faster. That's why my brothers and sisters, always you need to treat everybody. They are my able, they are my mediator, to connect to heavenly parents and my able. Like a spring, the heart always springs up spontaneously, always voluntarily, always happily and joyfully. That is the original nature, my brothers and sisters. If Adam and Eve would not fall, then, always smiling, happily, joyful, thankful, embrace each other. Really, always the heart springs up spontaneously, voluntarily, happily, joyfully, thankfully. When they see a person who is loved by central figure, they think of that person as the able of love rather than jealousy, rather than jealousy, right? Someone, receive love from Abel. Wow, how can he do that? He can receive love from my Abel. I need to learn, I need to resemble one who receives love more than me from Abel. Wow, he's my able figure. Decided everything centering on the level of heart and love. They always humble because they are not assertive. And they have a righteous heart because they are always loyal to the central figure. So once they make a decision, they stick to it to the end. My brothers and sisters, everybody carry on original nature. Sometimes we are carry on the fallen nature, but we need to really graduate from the really fallen nature, and we need to enter the world of our original nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Young. That was an amazing message today to really consult our hearts and see how we are living with our original nature and what we need to change to really connect with our God and our true parents. So now if we can go into our breakouts and share our takeaways, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, family. I hope you enjoyed your breakout. So to share first, I would like to invite up the Chicani family. If you could please open and unmute and share with us.
Good morning. Yeah. So as I was sharing in the breakout room with Rebecca, morning devotion always forces you to have to confront aspects of your own internal and external, nature. Dr. Young today talked about and very clearly, having what makes someone, more of an able type or someone who's living by fallen nature, and it really taught me that I need to really not just externalize the things that I'm learning here, but I have to internalize it and really focus on, understanding where I'm aligned, right? And have a direct 90-degree align with our Heavenly Parent so that I'm more vertically, in sync. And, I'm so grateful I always get this opportunity to, confront that aspect of myself and really, really grow myself in that way, grow myself in heart. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My takeaway today was I listened and I heard a lot, but what touched me so much is the question that forgiveness. Am I forgiving enough, or I hold a grudge? Then I started questioning myself. Do I have a narrow head, a narrow mind, or narrow heart, everything like that? Because sometimes if I'm upset with somebody, I don't want to talk to that person because I'm like, I don't want to talk to that person. I don't want to answer the phone because I'm still upset. Then I question myself. I'm like, I have to be forgiving for my heart to grow. I have to, don't hold a grudge. And then in this position, I need really to work on that and to forgive people. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, brothers and sisters. I have two takeaways. The first one is the angle of true love. It says it's 90 degrees, right? So when Dr. Young was talking about, the angle of true love as being as 90 degrees, at a 90 degrees angle, I started questioning myself, how many degrees I'm off from the 90 degrees angle. So the other takeaway that I took away this morning was about God calling Abraham as a God of Abraham. So I realized, I've been teaching divine principle for a long time, but today I understood it more deep. It's because Abraham won the heart of God. That's why God could call Abraham, could say, I am God of Abraham. So
all of us, if we can do like that, for example, if we have spiritual son or daughter, and we have to win the heart of our spiritual son or daughter, for that daughter to call you, or for that spiritual son to call you my spiritual father. So I'm so grateful to Dr. Young for this morning devotion. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Have a good day. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you for sharing today. And the next person I would like to invite up is Stephen and Kume Jadis. If you could please unmute and share.
Okay, it's just me. My wife is being, she's not 90 degrees, she's 0 degrees. She's horizontal on the floor. So, yeah, I was with Milhan and Kenji, and I got to tell you, they both were wearing black suits with white shirts and a black tie. I thought I was in a Matrix movie. I thought I was talking to Mr. Smith. And I was trying to, what I was thinking about is in my recent, some books I was reading, they were talking about, it was done by a Christian research group who were interviewing 1,000 people who were the ages between 13 and 25. And they were trying to explain what they found. And they call that Generation X. And the book says that generation is the loneliest generation. That's what they found. And they really have a distrust of organizations and institutions. And they have all this data that they actually accumulated because of that. And then at the end, in their conclusion, they say, really, what they found is that they say sociologists know this, but reality is that belonging comes before believing, and that people are really looking for trustable relationships in their life. They're really looking to belong to something rather than being taught principles. You won't get somebody to start studying the principle until they trust you. And that our job is really to build trustable relationships with the people we meet. It starts with our spouses, but the whole concept that what we're really trying to do, if you're 90 degrees or whatever degrees you are in your life, it's about building trust and trusting God and trusting the people around us. And if it's based on trust, that actually the principles can be known and also kind of explained. And it really struck me. There was all this data basically to back that up from interviews of kids. And, and I think sometimes in our church, we push the principle first. We forget about making relationships with people, that fundamentally that's the bottom line. So I was just reminded of that, and somewhat in the last part of the lecture was a little bit more artistic, in terms of how you deal with your able and your central figure, but it's all about trust at the end of the day. If to expand this concept that Father gave us. So anyway, that's my takeaway.
Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you to all who shared today. It was wonderful hearing your insights and your appreciation points this morning. So now for our reminders. Number 1, invite someone from your Trinity, someone from your neighborhood, someone from the community. So you never know what that could do for someone. So please invite someone. Next, number 2, joyfully give from your heart. Offer a prayer or a song and see how God may inspire you to help your community or to add to our morning devotion every day. And also, as you know, the World Summit started last night, so we encourage everyone to support this wonderful event by joining as two-way participants. There are two events tonight: the Sunhawk Peace Prize Award Ceremony at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and the conference sessions with limited space at 11:30 p.m. Eastern and 8:30 p.m. Pacific. And you can register to either of these through the links in the chat. And now for our musical offering, I'd like to invite up John Kirkley to offer up a song. John, if you could unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, till by turning and turning we come round right. Can I have an encore?
Yes.
Okay, since that was short, I just, sometimes when I'm going to sing, I get these songs in my mind and they sing over and over until I get to share with everybody. Now, my generation in the 40s and 50s grew up with a different climate of America. We didn't have to contend with pornography. And the cartoons, you know, the cat would chase the bird but never catch it and eat it. Wile E. Coyote would chase the roadrunner, but all of his tricks would backfire. And here's one of my very favorites. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, my, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder. It's the truth. It's actual. Everything is satisfactual. Zip, zip, zip. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay, my, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Thank you.
That was wonderful, Uncle John. I love when you offer up songs. You really lift up the spirit and put a smile on everyone's face. So thank you for that energy this morning. So now to close us off in prayer, I would like to invite up Ricky Menning. If you could please unmute and pray for us this morning.
Good morning. A little warning, I stayed up watching the live stream, so if I fall asleep while praying, stay with me. I'll wake up shortly, no worries. Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parents and true parents, good morning. I know this must be an exciting day for you with the World Summit going on and America's just waking up, and who knows what good we'd do on this day. We've had energetic days today, talks from Dr. Young about spherical movements and also about living with our original mind strong and intact. Today's going to be a great day for a lot of us here, so please just sit back and enjoy us while we continue to build your kingdom upon this earth, the kingdom and culture that you so wanted, not just here in America, but all throughout the world. I'm feeling inspired, I know we all are. So just have fun on this day with us and be with us and just enjoy the day. I pray this in the name of Ricky Manning, son of Gerald, and may you come in blessing to your family. Adieu.
Adieu. Thank you, Ricky. And thank you to everyone who joined this morning. It was lovely seeing all of your beautiful faces. So I hope each and every one of you have an amazing, wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.